Alright, I got my headlight, I got my new Trail Tech Vapor, and a piece of aluminum. And I'm hoping I can mount it in there. Let's see. See, I left the speedometer out of here on purpose. My plan is to mount this in right here with this piece of aluminum, and then hook up all the ancillaries, and I'll be 21st century. Hold on. I think I'm going to use this thing. It's perfect. This is for the handlebar mounting, but I think I can just cut it, and then it'll slide right in here. Hold that for me, no problem. Alright, I know what screws I need. I don't have any. At least I don't think. I'm gonna go look some more. Actually, I had to go to the store to buy some. Now I'm just putting on some rubber sealant there so it doesn't vibrate against the headlight bucket. So this is the speed sensor. You've got a couple of different ways to hold it on, but I'm thinking the best way is going to be this little C bracket that's included. It goes right here. See? Like that. Since I'm not using the fender, I have a little hole right there for the fender, but then I want to kind of link it in to the wheel so it holds steady. Not 100% sure how I'm going to do that yet. But I'll pull off the wheel and I'll take a look. Alright, I'm going to go modify this. All right, so here's where we are. You can see the Trail Tech mounted up in the headlight bucket. And then for the speed sensor, you can see how I hooked it into the wheel and then came around and grabbed where the fender should be as well. You can see a little relief cut I had to make on it to bend it to the proper angle, but it's in there and it's in there good. This is the power I'm gonna wire it into the headlight, to the light bulb that was in the speedometer. I need a ground, but I'll probably just use this ground. Sometimes when soldering, you wish you had 3 hands. This is the temperature sensor. It's just this copper ring that you put around your spark plug and then screw your spark plug down on top of it. So right now I'm just hooking it up so I can test it. I'm going to test this engine, you know, with the stock stuff on it. After I get it working and put my new cylinder and head on it, I'll wire this up a lot better. But right now I'm just getting it on. I also soldered in an inline 1 amp fuse, just because the directions recommended that I do it. And then finally, this is the tachometer, the RPM readings, and it's just a wire that you wrap around your spark plug wire. I'm just putting electrical tape around it now, but when I do it for real, I'll heat shrink it on. You know, usually I'm happy to entertain you with footage of me falling on my ass from the stool. But this time was especially bad, and I ended up with my ass crack pointed straight at the camera, so I'm going to do us all a favor and leave it out. Shit. Get that? Yeah. Cracked. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to, alright, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to test the trail tech. I've got the magnet on here and I've got the sensor. If you build mopeds, you're not used to having instructions and directions. This thing comes with really good instructions and directions. It's kind of a nice little treat. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin this wheel just to see that it registers. And then after I know it registers, then what I'll do is you have to measure the wheel and enter it into the trail tech so that you get accurate readings. And then later, after I have it on the road, which I think will be later today, hopefully, I'll pull out my GPS and I'll just verify that the speed is accurate. So anyway, first let's just make sure it registers. All right, well that's good. So it registers. That means that my magnet's on right, which is good because that means I'm going to go ahead and epoxy that in. I don't want to take it out on the road and get the wheel flinging and it flings the magnet off. So next step is to put some epoxy on here and go ahead and affix that magnet permanently. You know, usually this would be the finale and I'd be getting ready to take some glamour shots and finish her up. But in this case, this thing, I mean, yes, cosmetically it's done, but I have got a lot more work to do. We're replacing this entire top end and the exhaust, and I'm going to run these wires a lot nicer. This is just to make sure that everything is working the way it's supposed to before I get in there and fix her for real. So, so yeah, it will be exciting doing the first start, but it's by no means the end of the restoration. I guarantee I have one more episode and maybe two, depending on how that goes. So anyway, let's hook up all the brake lines, put some gas in her, and let's start her up, I guess. That's the next step. Come on, Lucky. Whoops, not quite yet. Let me measure that wheel best I can so I can get a good speed reading as I'm out riding around. 553 millimeters. Instructions. What a novelty. I love it. So that's not good. Don't know why it's not starting, but as I brought it in to put it on the moped table, the leg broke off and everything fell down. Those of y'all who've been watching since the Motopicon build remember when I bought that thing. So anyway, I took some time to cool my head and went on Craigslist and I got a new table. It's a school table and it's the exact right height. If you remember last episode, I told you that I marked the timing on the stator and the case, and I somehow messed it up. Well, I found that, and I adjusted it, and now it's time for round 2. Woohoo! And, while it does start, it doesn't actually move forward. Okay, so remember in the engine rebuild episode where I stated that if you put that gear in backwards, that you would have some pretty drastic and terrible effects downstream? This is it. So I'm going to go ahead and throw out 4 hours of footage of me troubleshooting and pulling the engine apart and scratching my head, and finally finding that I put that gear in backwards, and then flipping it around and rebuilding the engine and putting it back on the bike, and go straight to this. Alright, let's start her up, huh? I'll try it like this first. If this doesn't work, then I'll take her out and pedal her, but I could stand start her. I hope I can anyway. You see that back wheel moving? That's an incredibly good sign. Alright, we have it. I'm going to let this engine cool off. I'm going to go ahead and take off the chain again. Start disconnecting her because I need this engine over on the bench. Or wait a minute, do I? Yeah, I'm taking the engine off and now we're going to do all the fun stuff. Hot dang.